Are you do you have a keyboard and mouse combo that is trash? Well, let's talk about it. Stay tuned.
What's happening? This is Dale here.
And I'm Walt.
This is Live Streaming Tech, and you've come to the right place if you want to learn a little bit more about technology and how you can use it to leverage live streaming online. That's what we do, right, Walt? That's what we do.
You know it. You know it, Rick.
Folks, we're streaming out to everywhere. YouTube, our Facebook group, a Facebook business page, Periscope, Twitch, and the main one that we're going to right now is Amazon Live. That's been new for us. And if you haven't checked it out yet, please go over to livestreamingtech.com/Amazon Live so you can see the products we're going to discuss in today's broadcast. Do us a huge favor. Let us know where you're watching from inside the chat so we know where you're at. Because the magic of Restream.io has really helped us out in aggregating out. But in the same instance, we're not really sure who's watching where until you actually comment to us. So just let us know inside the comments. So, all right, dude. What are peripherals?
All right, so I started out the stream by saying, is your keyboard and mouse combo trash? So peripherals will be a keyboard, a mouse, a small handheld macro keyboard. It could be a printer. I mean, really anything that is going to hook up to your PC, laptop, Mac, whatever you have it, and it's either inputting or receiving information or sending out information. That is a peripheral. And today we're going to be focusing on mouse and keyboard. And that's because I feel, Dale, that this is a really overlooked thing when it comes to people building their live streaming and really just home computers, to be honest with you. Even for people that aren't live streamers, they're spending a bunch of money on parts for their computer inside, and they're buying the nice 4K monitors and this and that, but they're cheaping out on the mouse and keyboard. And we got a few tips here today on talking how you can go cheap and get bang for your buck.
If someone's live streaming, man, why is the keyboard and mouse so relevant? Why do I need to invest a bunch of money into something like this?
Okay, so there's a number of different things. If you think about it, a keyboard and a mouse is a tool, and is the tool that you're going to be using the most, other than your mouth and your camera when you're live streaming. You're going to be using a lot, even pre-stream, post-stream, all that. You're going to be using this mouse and keyboard to input data, and that's the thing. You want this to be, I like to say, form-fitting to you, something that is comfortable to you. Because I don't know, Dale, have you ever done this before, where you go out and you get a new keyboard or you get a new mouse and you're ready to rock and roll, and then you just get it home and you don't like how it feels, and you kind of force yourself into liking it, and sometimes, I've done it, and sometimes it's just, it works, after about using it for a week, you no longer notice that, it feels awkward or unique to your hands. But then there's other ones where I've thrown them straight in the trash, that they're that horrible. Loud keyboards. So for instance, my son is a huge fan of mechanical keyboards. Me, I am not, because as far as a live streamer goes, I do not want my microphone picking that up. And yes, true, I could use noise gates, noise compressors and suppression, this and that on there, but why bother with it? And you have to think, your keyboard is 9 times out of 10 sitting right below your microphone.
Okay, so let's talk about some stuff that's not the keyboards and the mice that aren't trash, man.
Yeah, okay. So this is the thing. You're going to find this before I get into the different products that we're going to talk about today. 9 times out of 10, when you buy a mouse and keyboard combo, you have to think about it on a business aspect. And that is sometimes it's too good to be true. So in other words, if you're spending $20 on a mouse and keyboard combo, you're either going to get a really good keyboard or a really good mouse. You're not going to get both. So just keep that in mind when you're buying these, and I'll point these out as we go through these different products. So the first one, and this is my favorite, this was my go-to, and literally I think that I bought it more as a joke when I used to have LAN parties over, and I would have people that would come over and they would forget their mouse and their keyboard, and I had this cheap Logitech keyboard, and I ended up falling in love with this thing. This thing is the MK120. Now, there's an older version of it too that I've used before the MK120, but it was equivalent to it. Now, the thing was this was super cheap. I used to get this thing, Dale, get this, for $12. So we're talking a mouse and a keyboard for $12 and a name brand. So we're not talking about, Duraflex or anything, silly like that. This is actual Logitech. So I got something in my eye. Go figure. That's what happens when you go live. And like I said, I bought this as a joke more to give my friends when they came over without it. But one of my wireless keyboards went on the fritz, and it was during a LAN party. I had to do a quick swap out. So I ended up getting stuck with the cheap keyboard. And I loved it because it was small. It didn't take up much room. And of course, Dale, I've always had desks where I had the pull out where the keyboard sits on it. So it's not necessarily that I'm looking for it not to take up real estate, but at the same time, I don't have very large hands. I don't. So the thing is the less surface I have to cover, the quicker I can type.
Yeah.
And it's not loud. It's very responsive. Now, here's where I was talking about before, where when you buy a combo, you're gonna get the lemon in there, and the mouse, unfortunately, in this combo is the lemon. This thing has poor response. It feels cheap. It's lightweight, and I know a lot of people, especially you, Dale, you just hate corded mouse, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love the fact that matter of fact, for the longest time, I went wireless keyboard and wireless mouse, and I went back to cabled mouse and keyboard just because of the fact that I feel that I get a better response. It can be a placebo effect. I don't know.
Yeah.
But right now, it's retails around $20, and right exactly now, as we're speaking about it, you can get it on Amazon for $15.64. Obviously, this price is going to fluctuate as any of the products we've talked about here before on this channel.
At $20, it's not too bad. And I mean, even if for some reason you're someone like me, I don't worry so much about response rate. So that specific mouse probably wouldn't be anything I would be completely against. So where Walt might say it's a lemon. For a lot of you out there, that might just be like, okay, I just need a mouse to get things done. Correct. It might work out for you. At $20, you cannot beat that. But I think this is the perfect segue for us to kind of go over into my specific combo. And by the way, if you're watching this on one of the various platforms, join us on Amazon Live over at livestreamingtech.com/Amazon Live, and you'll be able to see all of the products down below the window. This very next one actually is one that I am currently, literally this moment, using it. So let's go into the screen transition here, and we're going to go over to the Uhuru. Say that 10 times fast.
Say it again.
The Uhuru.
Sounds like a character from Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, the version I have is a little older, and when I picked mine up, I think it was like $12, $13 for the combo. The keyboard didn't used to have like the keys right here, and I'm showing this to everybody who's watching it. Sorry, Walt, that you can't see it. So it was a little smaller. I could have still used it like that, but I just ended up, I was like, this was okay. It had very nice, soft key sound, so it wasn't like really hard strokes. The mouse is absolutely stellar. I love this mouse. I'm going to tell you this. Uhuru builds their stuff like freaking tanks, because you ever do this where, you
dropped it.
You go to drop something and then you try to catch it with your foot? Like I've done that a few times where I'm like, it starts to slide off my desk. I'm like, click, and it just kicks it across the room. Batteries go flying. And then the funny thing is I'm always like, oh, and I put it back together like a tank. Its battery power on this lasts a long time. Honestly, like, I don't see myself ever switching from Uhuru. And right now, the updated version of it runs about $30. The keyboard, again, it's a little bigger. So if I were to end up ordering it, I probably would end up using it, because right now, and we're not going to be pushing this one, but this is actually a Microsoft one. And this is not going to be one we're going to be talking about today. I like this one, but this came with a combo that was about, I think, $160 at Micro Center, and it wasn't too bad. There's no reason why we just didn't bring it up. We just wanted to kind of stick to 5 products today and not bloviate for too long on some of these things. But one of the things that I really love about the Uhuru's mouse is just how soft it is, like the matte finish that it has on the surface, and on the outsides it has the glossy finish. So yeah, this Uhuru is really good. Its response rate's fantastic. My wife and I play a good handful of games with that specific mouse and find its response rate is really good. And here's the nice thing. Its distance is incredible. You've been to my house before, right? Mm-hmm. So my PC is all the way over here. We will play on the couch. Mind you, we will take the Uhuru mouse, put it on the couch, no mouse pad whatsoever, and we're using that to actually play games and such like that. And it works really, really good. So it's good distance. It can work on any surface. And about $30, man, you can't beat that with the stick. I'm just going to tell you.
All right. I would like to point out, though, I've used it, Dale, and I will point that out. So those for you who like a little bit of a higher mouse, in other words, to kind of fit the arch of your hand, it is a lower profile mouse.
It is.
So it does take getting used to. But if you like something that's low profile to where, you know, maybe your hand is cramping in that position, where me, I like to have my hand in that angle.
Yeah.
And we'll go more into that here in a little bit as we continue talking about
So you've got a third one here. I've heard of Red Dragon before. This isn't like the movie Red Dragon, but fill me in on this one, because this is where we're going to start talking about the mechanical keyboard.
Yes. Okay. So as I was saying earlier in the stream, my son, he is a huge gamer. So he plays all sorts of tactical shooters, that kind of stuff. And he's part of the younger crowd or whatever, where they like that tactile feel, that reaction. It takes a little bit more weight. You have a better response when it comes to that, even with the key coming up. So now for writers, you might like that if you're old school like me and learn to type on a typewriter.
The old clunky typewriters.
Yeah, yeah, and you miss that feel and you miss that sound to where you can. And Dale, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you can almost get a rhythm going when you start writing, and I mean, it's almost music to your ears when you're hammering something out and you can actually hear it.
Yeah.
So the thing is this is definitely a gaming keyboard. Now, this is on the low end of things. Right now, you can pick it up for $55.24. Now, obviously, this retails for around $65 to $70. My son specifically had me go seek this one out. It is the K556 Red Dragon. Of course, it has the RGB LED backlight.
That's cool looking.
Now, you want to talk about tanks, Dale. This thing is, when it says aluminum backed, the whole thing is pretty much aluminum. It is solid, and it is a very small key. It does not take up that much surface. And I mean, if somebody were to break in the house and I couldn't get to my baseball bat quick enough or my gun,
you just use that keyboard.
I would use the keyboard. And
Gotcha.
beat the mess out of it. And this thing, I'm telling you, is rock solid. I'm not a huge fan of mechanical keyboards. I have used it. I will say this, though, it's not as loud as some mechanical keyboards that I've tried in the past.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's transition back over to your first love. And you know it's Logitech, folks.
Yeah,
he's a huge fan
I'm a
of
Logitech fanboy. Well, that's the thing, Dale. I mean, you know, it's kind of like you were saying, the Hulu or the Hururu or the Lulu or whatever keyboard. The Ruru. Well, you know, it's when you fall in love with a product, you kind of keep going back to them. And like I said, even though we were talking about the cheaper Logitech keyboard mouse combo earlier, I did it more as a joke. But then again, I knew even buying it and cheap, I knew it would work for my friends when they came over.
So tell me about this more
Logitech
premium model here.
This one is wireless. Now, the thing is I loved the mouse on this combo. But to me, the keyboard was way too big for me. And now, mind you, I'm talking about, I have the desk with the pull-out keyboard tray in it and everything. So it wasn't a matter of it was taking up too much desk room. It just was too much real estate for my hands to cover. Now, if this is something that,
handrest.
If this is something that won't, and matter of fact, the handrest will come off.
Interesting.
So yes. Now, the thing is some people want that hand rest. So say you don't have that keyboard tray and you pull it out and you're actually using it on your desktop, you are going to want to use that hand rest because it is a bigger and thicker keyboard that you're going to start getting carpal tunnel just by using that thing. Now, as far as features go, this thing has the multimedia features. It has everything you can think of, but it is not backlit. So if you're into the, flashy gamer, and this keyboard was slightly louder than I preferred it to be as well.
Interesting.
So
they seem really low profile. Wouldn't think it would be so loud.
Yeah. But the thing is, so that was the thing. I wasn't too sad when it went on the fritz. However, I think it was the Bluetooth part in it. It just got too hot and probably fried out because when the keyboard went, the mouse went as well. Ooh. And I could have probably went out and picked up another Bluetooth and paired it to it, this and that. But once again, I kind of fell in love with the cheaper model. I started using it and I didn't care for the mouse, so I ended up getting another mouse. But that was no big deal. And I've used those Logitech cheaper keyboards forever because I've spilt food on them. I've spilt drinks on them. I mean, you've seen my work. You've seen my old streaming station. Remember all those Rockstar cans and, McDonald's? I mean, you name it. I had it laying around.
You had a lot of garbage around there, yeah, for sure.
And I literally could take that keyboard and hold it upside down and flick it, and it probably is going to gross a lot of you out, but I mean, I would just have particles of old food just falling out.
One thing that a lot of people should be very aware of too is Logitech typically comes with like a 3-year warranty of some sort. So make sure that when you're getting the product that you're going and registering it, so that way you do extend a warranty of some sort. So if some reason you are in that 3-year window, or in some instances just the 1-year window. I think I looked at the two products and shared it on screen. It said 3-year warranty. Well, if you're still within that 3-year warranty and that Bluetooth piece goes bad on you, you can always just send that in and get a brand new one. And I think Logitech has been a very agreeable brand. They're typically, I've never heard any people having issues with getting.
Or you can be like me and use it as an excuse to try out a new product.
Get a brand new one.
And speaking of, let me bounce over to this. So now everyone's going to be in shock. And Dale, you're even going to be in shock because the fact that I am not using currently a Logitech keyboard. Now, when my son and we snatched up that Red Dragon, I actually got a hand-me-down from my son. And this was we basically bought a bundle package for him. Now, I'm going to get into the bundles and, what the lemons were, but I'm using the Corsair keyboard. Of course, it's upside down, but as you see, it's, it has the RGB, and of course I need to clean it and whatnot. But yeah, my son literally was just going to toss this in his closet. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I like that keyboard. I was like, let me try it out. Now, it's a little bit bigger than I care for it to be, but the real estate is more towards the top. So my hands really don't have to mess with that too much. I'm not fudging around with the multimedia keys or anything like that. Now, I've begged him to come turn the RGB off or whatnot because I'm too lazy. I can figure it out. But it's one of those things where it's like, turn that off because when I'm laying in my bed, that's not a green screen back there. That is my bed. At night, even with the PC off, Dale, the keyboard still lights up. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I remember a couple of nights I actually shut the whole power strip off to my rig just to turn that stuff off.
So the one thing I'm noticing, man, is this higher price point though. So you got to justify this here for me, man.
Yes. So this is what you would call a gamer bundle. Now, Corsair, as you know, Dale, is the parent company now for Elgato.
Elgato, baby.
Yes. You and I love some Elgato. And I'm going to tell you what, the keyboard is nice. It's sturdy. It's not loud, so that was right there. The reason why I snatched it up right off the rip, because I've used Jordan's keyboard many a times when I'm on his rig. The problem with the bundle, I know he was super stoked about it. He loved it. As a matter of fact, I remember using his headset a few times, actually when we did some live streams, but it ended up shorting out in one ear. So you can imagine how annoying. The microphone still worked and the other ear still worked.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was not a problem. Jordan has plenty of gaming headsets. He just swapped it out for something else. It wasn't a big loss.
Yeah.
Now, the mouse, we've kind of went back and forth on this one. I personally don't like the way it fits in my hand. Jordan was more about the balance. Once again, he is a competitive gamer, so he's not like you and I, Dale, where we're using our streaming rigs more as a workstation and less as a competitive gamer. And if I game, I'm horrible at it. Hence, why I'm not running out and buying a $200 mouse or $200 keyboard.
Yeah.
So the thing is if those features, like if the headset still worked, I would say definitely is worth the price. Once again, Dale, you're probably right. We probably could have reached out to Corsair or, possibly even tried to do a return on it. It is $239 for that combo. I know a lot of you just puckered up a little bit on that one, but you have to break this down on this point is that you're looking at the headset. That's like a $50 to $60 headset.
Yep.
Possibly even more. Than the mouse, you're looking at another $50-$60. The keyboard, another $50-$60. So it adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it does.
And
it includes the mouse pad too, of course.
Yeah,
let's not forget that.
The mouse pad. But the thing is anytime that you see a mouse and keyboard combo with that gamer stamp on it, you're automatically going to start paying more for it, especially when it comes from a brand like Logitech, Corsair. What's be another one? Razer is another good example of that.
Something Dr. Elo here just commented over on YouTube. He said, I got the wireless keyboard and headset. They are both amazing. Corsair makes great products. So thank you so much,
This is the
Dr.
wired
Elo.
version. Yep.
Yeah, that is really, there's enough testimony right there. Definitely check it out. And I know that Dr. Elo is all about getting some good gear because, he knows what the A6400, the Sony A6400 was and was like, yep, got that one. So in any event, there is one other thing. You had a bonus that you're going to add today.
Yeah. Now the bonus was as you noticed when we were talking about that the Corsair combo kit there, the gaming combo kit, we both didn't like the mouse. And I know Jordan was kind of bummed out about it. The balance just didn't feel right to him. And that was when I recommended that he go with the Razer Death Adler. Now, this is one of the Razer's lower end models. I don't think it's the lowest end one, but it's pretty much, out of the box at $69.99. It's not really bad for a gaming mouse. Yeah. Now, this thing here, I tell you what, Dale, anytime that he if he upgrades or gets another one, I'm definitely snatching that as a hand-me-down. That thing is super comfortable. Yeah. Super duper duper comfortable. Now, as far as the DPI, I don't really mess around with the DPI, but I've watched my son when he does the gaming and stuff, and he can switch that DPI super quick. Now, for those of you who are non-gamers and don't know what that means, that affects how quick your cursor is going to move, your reaction time. So that's the thing that when he's doing the competitive gaming, it's all about reaction time and how quick you can get that crosshair on somebody's head to blow it apart or whatever. So he needs to up that DPI. And of course, when I go in there to use his rig or whatever, I'm clicking that button to turn that DPI down because the cursor. Matter of fact, I think there was a couple times, Dale, that, I remember you hear me hollering about it when we did a couple live streams from his room, because the DPI was cranked so bad on it. But it does have 8 programmable buttons. So even if you're not like into, say, gaming, whatnot, you can actually program these buttons with macro keys or hotkeys. So that's right. Nice. You can literally, so say you do not have the Elgato Stream Deck, you can actually set some of those buttons up to switch scenes. That's right. Through OBS or Streamlabs OBS, you can set those buttons up to switch scenes or fire off sound effects and whatnot. Obviously, you're going to want to leave the 3 other buttons alone, the left click, right click, and the center wheel or the center button. You're going to want to leave those alone, but the other keys you can use to trigger off hotkeys.
Awesome. Good stuff. So, hey, we're getting towards the end of things. I just want to say, again, where are you watching from? Are you watching on YouTube, the Facebook business page, Facebook group, Periscope, Twitch, or even our main place, which is Amazon Live? Did I mention YouTube? I did, yes.
Yes, you did.
Make sure that you let us know inside the chat. We want to hear from you for sure.
So let us know what products you guys like, what keyboards and mouse, because that's the thing. So let's just cut down to the chase. Now, we kind of, did a little clickbaity title in there asking if your mouse and keyboard combo is trash. Now, obviously, I gave the reasoning behind it is because even with the bigger companies, you're going to get a lesser of a product, whether it be the keyboard or the mouse, especially when there are super low prices, but it's like blue jeans. For instance, Dale might like Levi, where I prefer Wranglers. You know, it's how they fit you. It's how they feel.
I'm a Jordache man. I'm a Jordache man.
A Jordache.
Jordache.
High hip hugger Jordashes, no less.
Yes.
Okay. But no, so let's take this into consideration. We're not trashing on, and that's the thing too, that you might find
comes down to taste.
Yeah, the Corsair mouse feels great on your hand.
Yeah.
Like Dale's mouse is totally different than the type of mouse that I use. I like, once again, the high profile. He likes low profile. My son, he likes to have a weighted, finely balanced mouse, because of what he does. So that's the thing. Let us know in the comments, or let us know here on live. What you prefer, what products you prefer, what type of keyboard or mouse. We're interested in that. Let us know. And Dale, what else do we have?
Yeah, so whatever you're watching or from, please let us know inside the comments. That would be awesome. Even if you're watching on the replay, we are able to do this via restream.io. They make life easier because we feed out onto all those different avenues, but also it gets it to where it's a little harder for us to communicate with each and every single one of you. So we want to make sure that you are heard. So we do want to thank Dr. Elo for popping on in there. Anybody that's watching this on Amazon Live, unmute your speakers so you can hear us. Any rates, so live Q&A at this point, I don't really see anybody kind of chatting with us. They're kind of active, passively participating. We definitely appreciate that. So any last words before we get ready to disconnect over on Amazon Live, bro?
Yeah, definitely. You want to check out this video right here in the bottom left-hand corner. That is the YouTube recommended video.
Hang on a second, man. We're not going off YouTube yet. We're not at that point.
Oh man.
Any last words for Amazon Live before we disconnect on them?
No, definitely check out the products below. You'll see what we're talking about. There's a little bit more detailed description in there. Definitely check them out. There's some really good deals out there. And really, I'm gonna tell you what. If you're just looking for a regular workstation keyboard and mouse, grab that Logitech MK120. I'm telling you, you're going to sit there and think there's no way, Walt, that's going to be a decent keyboard and mouse for 1564. I'm telling you, you can spill whatever you want on that keyboard. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because then
someone's going to do it
disclaimer, do not spill stuff purposely on there to send Walt the bill. All right. But I'm just saying, it is a very robust cheap keyboard. I'm telling you, Logitech. I'm sorry, my fanboy's coming out again. Hands down, I love me some Logitech.
Okay, Amazon Live, thank you very much for tuning in. And for those of you that have stuck around this far, of course, we're going to go ahead and transition right over into the end screen. And here, this very next video down below, why don't you go take a look at it, where we talked about the 5 best budget monitors. But Walt, what if they've already watched it?
I have the YouTube recommended video. Yay! Down here.
So go ahead, take a look at it, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.